Okay, what's up, everyone?
Volgan, the GRU colonel, was burned alive with a Shagohod during Operation Snake Eater 20 years ago. Despite suffering severe burns
Okay, so
to his
that was the
entire
final
body,
death then,
he still clung to life.
or final.
After you left Seleniarsk, Volgan's body was taken to a research institute in the outskirts of Moscow. But modern medicine couldn't explain why he was still alive. Not that the colonel was any ordinary man to begin with. That constant electric current he had running through his body that he could unleash at will. To be honest, I was always uncomfortable around him. Thought I might get electrocuted just by standing nearby. The institute studying him was tasked with investigating and developing human paranormal abilities. The comatose Volgan was used to further the Soviet Union's research into such abilities. But not long ago, the facility burned to the ground. And Volgan's body was never found among the rubble, even though the fire started in the room where they were keeping him. This occurred at around the same time you woke up. If Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgan. It's not over yet. Back in '64, in Seleniarsk, you brought his plans for a utopia down in flames. That grudge is what's keeping him alive. The day the research facility holding Volgan burned down, a Soviet jumbo passenger jet happened to crash nearby, far away to the north of that hospital in Cyprus. On board the plane was a young boy who was being studied at the same facility. The plane fell to Earth from over 8,000 feet, but the boy's body was the only one not recovered. At almost exactly the same time as the crash, Volgan awoke in that facility. According to the Research Institute's documents, the gifts this boy demonstrated included psychokinesis and telepathy. To protect his mind from being inundated with other people's thoughts, he always wore a kind of gas mask. A rudimentary form of psychic insulation, apparently. We don't know where this boy is, but if Skullface is connected to him, we may cross paths with him yet. This boy is part of a new age where nothing we understand about the world makes sense anymore. Don't let your guard down. So what were they doing at Enzoya Badia, Baloo? That facility with all the people laid out in rows?
The abandoned factory Shabani was held in.
It is precisely as you guessed. Black Anna was coding languages into the vocal cord parasites. They infected the subjects with the parasites, then made an incision in the throat to expose the vocal cords. That allowed them to play recordings of a desired language directly to the parasites.
And the parasites learned the languages that way. That's some teaching method. I just don't get how a bunch of bugs had the brain power for it.
They don't. Do not judge them by human standards. They do not learn as a function of intellect.
Then how do they do it?
What language the parasites react to is coded into their genes. You could expose the Japanese strain to English for years, and it would never learn the language and react to it. The pronunciation, rhythm, and structure are different. But what about, say, Spanish and Portuguese? Linguistically, the two are very close.
Yeah, they're both Ibero-Romance languages.
Even so, a Spanish language mating pair exposed to Portuguese will not copulate. Only when they hear Spanish. Only then. And the majority of their offspring will be the same.
So it's a literal case of a mother tongue.
But if that's so, I don't see how the different strains can be created in the first place.
Well, among the many thousands of offspring, there may be just a few that react to Portuguese.
You're talking about mutations.
Correct. Playing the tapes helps to identify the mutant strains. Those specimens are then isolated and bred with one another. From their children, specimens that react more strongly to Portuguese can again be selected and bred. Repeating this process creates a strain that reacts solely to Portuguese and never to Spanish. Mutation and selection. No different to breeding roses.
So you kept increasing the change over the generations, adapting them to languages from all over the world. Must have taken a hell of a lot of patience.
More like patience. Just how many died for this?
There's something I still don't get. In order to tell which larvae will react to Portuguese, you'd have to let them develop and then see which copulate. That means you'd need tens of thousands of guinea pigs. There's no way you could do that in a facility that small.
For normal selective breeding methods, you would be right. But there is a more effective selection method when training the vocal cord parasites.
Go on.
It is not only when mating that the parasites listen for language. Shortly before hatching, larvae display markedly increased activity in reaction to particular language. The active eggs can be identified under a black light. So the eggs that react to Portuguese are selectively placed in the throats of subjects. So you see, narrowing down strains that react to the target language is an effective process. Though I'm sure that even so, many lost their lives to create the various strains.
Taken against their will into that dungeon.
There are two reasons for playing the tapes for the parasites. One, to isolate the eggs that respond to the target language. And two, to cause the specimens raised from the selected eggs to mate.
I get how the system works. But why do they respond to language before they even hatch? It's not like they can mate from inside an egg.
It is because the larvae learn the language before hatching.
You mentioned that what language the parasites respond to is hard-coded into their genes, and that they don't have the brain power to actually learn a language. But then you say that the larvae at Nzoia Badia Bulu were learning the languages in the egg. Your story doesn't add up.
Your country is home to a unique songbird. The Japanese bush warbler.
Sure, what of it?
What a beautiful call it has. But no bush warbler can sing it perfectly at the start. As chicks, they can barely chirp at all. They must learn from their parents and other adult birds. Only then can they sing properly and attract females. So naturally, there are individual differences in each bird's call. Though they start on the same footing, each bird is influenced by its teachers.
And the parasites are the same?
Like the birds, the parasites have a genetic predisposition towards a particular language. But while in the egg, the larvae's ears are tweaked by listening to the voice of the host. This tweaking ensures that the grown parasites will react better to the host's speech pattern.
Why would they have an ability like that?
Well, there are distinct regional differences within even the same language. Rare is the language that has no unique dialects. Yes, learning the host's speech pattern before hatching attunes the larvae to whatever twist of pronunciation it will encounter. This adaptive ability is what makes them so formidable.
I see. So a language requires selective breeding, but the parasites can learn dialects by themselves.
Of course, having the egg-stage larvae listen to the tapes in the factory was not meant to teach them. It was more important to use that trait of theirs to identify the mutated strains. As I mentioned earlier,
Is that really accurate enough to use as a weapon? You could wipe out a neighboring ethnic group by accident if their pronunciation is too close.
what you say is true. In that sense, they are imperfect as ethnic cleansers. But for his purposes, they are good enough. His objective was not to exterminate any one ethnic group, but to render the world's lingua franca, English, inert.
Roger.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by. Be careful down there, boss.
Ooh. Okay, it's facing the other way. Really cool aiming with the different kinds of like sights and lasers I have on this gun here. I doubt it'll work on these guys, but I'm still curious to try. Huh. I did that. I wonder why he's saying that. I'm sure there's some backstory there. Alright. It's kind of not as fun just returning immediately back to the ACC. It's a quicker though. Yeah, I kind of like to collect like all the little transport places where you can fast travel. Oh well.
Boss, about that AI pod you retrieved from Emmerich's research facility. Guess what we found inside? A corpse. Human. The pod maintained a low internal temperature the whole time, and very little outside air got in. That would have slowed down decomposition. Still, the remains were mostly skeletal. Estimated time of death is between 6 months and a year ago. We put the screws to Huey about it. Listen to the tape. Turns out it was the body of someone we knew very well.
Fine. Yes, Strangelove was doing AI research in that lab.
Why hide that until now?
Why? Okay, so what? I wasn't working alone. You've got to understand. You do understand, right? I didn't want to drag her into this. It's my load to bear, alone.
So you didn't create the AI intended to drive Sahelanthropus. It was Strangelove.
Skullface was never in favor of AI control. So naturally they argued. Strangelove, she got him angry and he killed her.
How? You didn't see it? So you found her inside that pod after the fact. And you just left her body to rot in there. Or perhaps you put her in there afterward.
I asked him not to take her away from me.
So she was killed by Skullface, but you asked nicely, and he put her body in the AI pod for you?
That's right.
Pathetic. You know, we have another idea. That you killed her.
Me? I couldn't kill her.
You killed her and locked her body in the pod.
I wouldn't. Don't treat me like one of you. I can't just kill anyone whenever I feel like it. I'm a normal human being.
Oh, I see. So you just shut her inside and waited for her to die.
I would never do that.
What, you mean she killed herself?
Yes. She climbed inside that pod and shut the door. It can't be opened from the outside. It was suicide. Suicide, I said. She killed herself. She got in when I wasn't looking and suffocated. She'd often try to do things like that. By the time I realized and opened the door, she wasn't breathing. I got scared and shut the pod again. I couldn't bring myself to open it back up. That's right. Me? Kill her? What is wrong with you?
I see. Just tell me one more thing.
Haven't you gotten enough today?
Okay, I see it's a painful memory. You don't have to answer, just listen to the question. You see, we examined her remains. She had a scar on her lower abdomen, a surgical scar. It had been stitched up and had fully healed, meaning it was long before her death. She had a child, didn't she? Your child. Where's the kid?
How should I know?
So there is a child.
I've never seen his face.
What do you take us for?
They took it all. Even my child. I didn't even know he'd been born. I lost everything.
How old would he be?
It's 4 years since then.
And you know it's a boy.
Strangelove said so.
And his name?
We called him Hal, even though I never saw his face.
That kid's older than 4, right? Wait, was that? That might have been the guy.
Be careful down there, boss.
You guys might not have been able to hear that. That might have been the guy I'm trying to capture that I just alerted. Yeah, maybe he's up. Oh. Why didn't I see you earlier? Alright.
That's the target. I remember him. He was off base during the attack 9 years ago. Bring him home, boss. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I guess actually there might be a downside to returning to the ACC quickly like that. If I have to like actually pay for the deployment like it seems like I have to every time. I guess it's costing me some money. Also don't really have much of a shortage of money right now either. Why? That's exactly what I need.
Boss, get down. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak.
Jesus, that was fast.
Ons weer dit uitcheck. Op my bevel.
Hit it.
Dis niks. Moenie worry nie.
Damn it. Still a bit rusty. Haven't been playing this as much. Hey, these guys are jumpy.
Ons weer dit uitcheck. Op my bevel.
Hey, fella, what's going on?
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Boss, get down. The enemy sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Ooh.
CP de Zuluïen. Iets je moeite waard om uit te checken. Stuur bevel. Oor. De CP begrijpt. Bescherm securiteit en wees wakker. Uit. CP de Zuluïen. Hoe zit een lijkie? Wees op je uitkijk voor indringers. Oor. De CP begrijpt. Bescherm securiteit en vind die indringer. Uit.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
low. Right.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that.
And now for my Fulton extraction.
research has been stolen. The research materials have been packed into 2 containers and hidden in the jungle southwest of the mansion. Enemy extraction choppers will be there any minute. You have to find and retrieve those containers before they arrive. That area is being guarded by zero-risk security, and their client is XOF. If the choppers make off with the containers, that research will end up in Cypher's hands. That cannot be allowed to happen. One other thing, boss. We need a cargo-capable Fulton extraction device to recover the containers. Use your iDroid to order its development and have it dropped in. Be careful down there, boss.
Good dog.
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around the targets. Watch yourself.
Shit, that dude's like a juggernaut.
Your targets are 2 containers. Locate and extract them both.
Alle eenheden, speciale waarschuwing. Verdedig jouw positie. Uit.
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around the targets. Watch yourself. Guards, they must know where the containers are. If you can just squeeze it out of them.
Literally.
maakt een manier dat goed oppast.
I'm not going to be used right. Je kan het aanzetten van die vijand naar jou te lokken of je kan het verblinden.
Ja,
In elk geval, het is jouw weer te maken.
Our early warning radar still hasn't picked up the enemy choppers. But it's only a matter of time before they arrive.
Those are some really cool little in-game tips they just gave. I never thought I knew about not distracting them. I never thought to distract them. So that's a cool use. And then I knew about blinding them up close. We still haven't tried that.
Updated the info on your iDroid. Take a look. The PF soldiers have no idea what's in those containers. Strictly a need-to-know basis.
Hey, you okay?
Go! Ready? Ha? Wat kanan! Ready?
There, butter.
Hey.
You got an intel file. Unfortunately, there's nothing new in it.
Oh. He's back.
You gotta extract him. He's coming too. Roger that. Visibility in the jungle isn't great. Watch out. You could run into the enemy at any time.
Please, feel the roots. The branches become one with the forest. The forest is aware of the enemy's noise. You must be too.
Your targets are 2 containers. Locate and extract them both.
Alle eenheden, speciale waarschuwing. Verdedig your position. Uit.
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around the targets. Watch yourself. Visibility in the jungle isn't great. Watch out. You could run into the enemy at any time.
Please, feel the roots. The branches become one with the forest. The forest is aware of the enemy's noise. You must be too.
Wait, does it not show up until I... There it is. Okay.
Our early warning radar still hasn't picked up the enemy choppers. But it's only a matter of time. Guards, they must know where the containers are. If you can just squeeze it out of them.
Where are they?
I've updated the info on your iDroid. Take a look. MPF soldiers have no idea what's in those containers. Strictly a need-to-know basis. Target to go. Take care of the next one. Boss, our early warning radar just picked up the enemy choppers. We'll keep you informed of their movement.
Snake, are you okay? Snake!
Oh wow. That death animation. That was great. Just fucking dives into a shallow river.
Boss, our early morning radar just picked up the enemy choppers. We'll keep you informed of their ETA.
You can't go firing on the XOF choppers. If we attack XOF now, it'll be a declaration of war against Cypher itself. That time will come. But it's not now.
Let's do it the second time around. Having not get the word you just said. That just buttered my bread.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.
And how?
We got Code Talker's research materials back in one piece. The medical team has them under lock and key in the quarantine facility. The materials should help their research into the vocal cord parasites. Cypher won't be getting their hands on them now. Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received some new job offers. The details are on your iDroid. Boss, some of the kids we've been keeping here have escaped. We don't know why they ran off, but it may have something to do with Ralph's death. The intel team's looking for them as we speak. I'll add information to your side ops list as it comes in. You need to locate and secure those kids. I'll try to find out what happened.
Alright, until next time.